Welcome to VHS Sisters, a nostalgic movie podcast with two actual real-life sisters. Get into some jammies, grab your favorite beverage, and come hang out with us as I force my little sister to watch all of the movies that she missed growing up. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the pod. If you've tuned in for the second episode, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We're still figuring things out here, but we're happy to be here. I don't think we've decided on a name for the pod yet, but if you're listening to this, there's definitely an intro with the actual name of the pod that has been edited in. So, and I would say before we get into the movie today, which is the 1998 film directed by Griffin Dunne, Practical Magic. As I was rewatching it, I was like, why did I recommend this movie to you? And I thought maybe that should be the name of the pod or something like, is this as good as I remember?
Right.
Question mark.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's very, and I mean, for background, I've never seen the movie. So this is my first time viewing and I have many thoughts and opinions.
And we should actually intro ourselves. We did a little intro last time. So I am Seisha and I'm the hangover after a midnight margarita.
Oh my God. I'm Melanie and I want to know your ASL. Tell me about you.
That works. I love it. Yeah, this movie, and I want to say, just sort of bouncing off the last episode, our first movie we watched, Jaws, which I think everyone can agree is like one of the top 10 films maybe of all time. For me personally, it's in my top 10. This movie, not so much, but somehow I wanted to do this because I feel like we're both, I wouldn't say like chronically online, but we are both aware of trends, aesthetics, fashion things. And I feel like this period of time has become very romanticized with the younger generation now. And as somebody who lived through it, I had to go back and watch this movie because I see like gals and guys and everybody now having like Practical Magic themed birthday parties and parties.
Really?
Oh, yeah. No, we can get into it. We got some juicy stuff on this because, people are watching this and they're like, oh, this is my comfort movie. And they're doing looks based. I mean, and I think we can both agree, a lot of great looks in this movie. The aesthetics are gorgeous. Yeah, let's get into it a little bit because I was the one who forced you to watch this. What do you have any memories of this movie at all? Do you remember like the poster or seeing trailers, or did you ever see snippets of it on cable TV?
So no, like prior to watching it yesterday, the only thing that I knew as far as a reference goes is, well, two things. One being that some of our favorite drag queens do reference it a lot. It seems like maybe it's like a cult classic kind of thing, like, or a, how would you say, like something that's like a totally like a B or a D movie, but it just stays in infamy because of how either bad it is or funny or but Trixie and Katya have mentioned it a few times, so I know it from them, but also the fact that you and your partner Ryan tend to go like down to the Jersey Shore, and I believe the house is in Cape May.
Yes.
And that's about all I know. You're like, oh, this is the Practical Magic house. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like it, and from that, I kind of imagine this movie to be very different than what it was. And I was like, okay.
Right. Yeah. Let's kind of talk about the house quickly. So I feel like that's the best part of this movie. And yes, whenever I go down to Cape May, New Jersey, you know, if you know it, you love it. It's got a very Victorian house by the sea vibe, which to me is like the ultimate. I think the thing that's kind of off in this movie, and I have a whole list of things that are off in this movie. I think one of the big detriments to the vibes of this movie are the fact that it was not filmed on the East Coast. It definitely is California. I believe they filmed all the house and the seaside town stuff in Washington State, which is gorgeous. And you definitely, like, if you've ever been out there, I know you haven't been yet, but if you've ever been to Washington State, it's like around like the San Juan Islands where, like, you know, not to bring up killer whales again, but there are a lot of orcas out there.
It is on my list. It's my to-do list. My mission in life is to view orca whales in their natural habitat. So
you should definitely go. And there's probably a practical magic tour as well that you could go on and see with a bunch of other white people. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's just like, you know, when you see a movie that's supposed to be like shot in Massachusetts or Maine, or so they do this a lot, like with Stephen King movies. I think like the original Salem's Lot did that too, where it's like, oh, it's supposed to be spooky ooky Maine. It's clearly California. Like, you can see the rolling hills, the trees are different, the lighting is different, the sun is different. So yeah, I don't know. That was definitely a problem I have from the get. But I think we can both agree that the house itself is gorgeous. And when I put it on for Ryan, who had also never seen it before, a couple nights ago when we watched it together, I explained to him, I was like, you have to understand that, like, girls don't want anything else but this house.
Yeah.
This is all they want, and to like live life with their girlfriends in this house. So it is very aspirational. And I think the thing that people who have seen it, who have remembered it fondly, that's the thing that they're remembering. They're not remembering the extremely patchy screenplay.
Oh, horribly patchy. A lot of holes. Very different movies all happening at the same time.
Right. Yeah. What was your take at, like, when you watched it, you're like, what kind of movie did you think it was going to be, and what did that turn out for you?
I really thought it was going to be focused on, like, say, like this, either like this coven or potentially like and it does reflect on the dynamic. I believe they're sisters, right? Like, I thought somewhere I read that they were cousins, but I could be wrong.
No, they're sisters. I think they make that clear. Yeah, and the aunties are sisters.
Yeah,
and they're sisters. And then
she has two children.
She has
who
two
are
sisters. Big sister movie.
Yes, here we are at the sister podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was going to be more about just like maybe what living in that town is like for them. And they did touch on that a little bit. I wasn't expecting this whole like side plot of Nicole Kidman like hoeing it up in Arizona. But so like the first 10 minutes of the movie, I'm like watching it and I'm like, oh, this is going to be like extra cozy. This is going to be, you know, like very nostalgic feeling because, you know, I was born in 92, but I still remember like this warmth to the movies, these homes with very like craftsman style architecture, Victorian architecture, wallpaper, things like that, mismatched mugs, tile countertops, which is, in my opinion, disgusting.
you can't clean all that grout, and no one can.
You can't be chopping chicken on that grout. Like, that's disgusting. Like,
no. No.
But it's just like there's this character to like what I first was seeing in the film, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna be good. Buckle up, you know. I was like, as I kept going, I was like, wait, what? Like, what is happening? What are we doing?
It does like a hard turn, and I feel like the open. We don't have to summarize the movie because I assume if you're listening to this pod, you have seen it and you have opinions about it already. But I feel like, just to break down the beginning of the movie, as someone who is a writer, I'm like, okay, great. We have a hot open. We establish the fact that there's an ancestor who's a witch. She does a little magic trick and escapes the hanging and spooks everybody. And it starts this whole, like, she establishes her position in the community as a witch. And my biggest thing in the beginning, I was like, okay, so they're known as witches. Right.
But
and they're shunned. Like everyone's like calling them a witch and a bitch and throwing rocks at them since the beginning of time for many generations. But also like the villagers come to them for like love spells and stuff.
Right.
And they get to like, you know, and the sisters are willing to like murder birds for these people. Like, what is this weird toxic relationship with the town? I'm like, well, so what is it? Right? Are they shunned? Are they not allowed to be like a part of the PTA meeting? Oh no, that's fine. But we're just not nice to her. I'm like, why does this happen? Like, there's no stakes. I'm like, if you're gonna make them shunned, then let's like shun them and have them be sort of like the Addams family.
Right.
But they just don't go there. Yeah.
I don't know if like there was like a director's cut of the movie that we missed. Like, is there something like, I know this is based off a book, right?
It is. Yeah. That's a great point to bring up, which I have read.
Okay. How did the book compare to the movie?
Very different.
Okay.
It's very different. Yeah. So the book came out in 95 and I read it. I got it at the public library where we grew up. That was something I read when I was 15, 16 years old. And then I remember when they announced the movie and I remember being super excited about it. And then I also remember now that I'm rewatching it, I'm like, oh, right. I was really underwhelmed because they took a lot of liberties. In the book. I feel that the domestic abuse stuff, the, you know, the sort of like Goodbye Earl kind of vibes that they touched on was very present in the book. There were a lot of books like that in the 90s, sort of like, I want to say, not even proto-feminist, but straight up like feminist books about like sisterhood and like getting revenge against men. That was like, you know, bubbling in the cauldron, so to speak. They really kind of play that down in the movie because I feel like I mentioned in the beginning, this movie was directed by Griffin Dunn, who was an actor. He was in American Werewolf in London. He was in the movie After Hours. I don't think he had like a huge directing career, but for some reason was like picked for this. And I feel like the studio just couldn't figure out what it wanted this movie to be. It's like, all right, is it a cozy movie about sisterhood? Is it a supernatural Casper type thing, you know, with the ending? Is it, I don't know,
suspense, like a murder or like a police chase or something?
Yeah, there's like a little bit of a police procedural thing with the Aidan Quinn character who comes in and it's like, oh, you know, he's gonna fall for Sandra Bullock because look at her. She's I think we both can agree.
Gorgeous.
Stunning.
Both of these women, gorgeous in this movie.
No Botox, lustrous hair, just like natural teeth and hair. And I was like, God, people really just like looked great. Looked great. And just like, and like not perfect though, you know, just like a little flawed and like,
yeah, like her running in the top with like the little booty shorts running towards her man's.
Girl, you better get it. She's like, I gotta go get my man who's pushing vegetables around because that's the guy for me. I think I do like that part where, you know, the whole family curse thing is really interesting. And I do like that part where she was like, no, screw it. I'm going to fall in love.
Right.
And she does it. And then the husband is literally like 5 minutes in the movie. Right. That's it. It's just like, okay. I
was like, it's over. Yay.
Hey, the end.
Like that could have very well been the ending of the movie, but somehow was in the beginning. But then again, I didn't read the book, so I don't know if that actually, like, she went off and her aunt, it seems like, put like a spell on the guy and made him fall in love with her or something when they were walking through the town. And she's like, oh, yeah. I just want to be in love. And so she's like, here, good enough. Like, have this guy be the guy. And then she comes back running, you know, later on, and there he is. But I wasn't sure if like that was supposed to be the ending with the other character, like the but whatever.
I think the husband has to die, right? Because like in the arc of her character, that's the curse, right? So like she tries to avoid the curse still comes for her.
She hears that beetle.
She hears that beetle that's messing with everybody's lives. She tries to get rid of it and she can't find it. I think something I was thinking about in terms of magic, and we can get into like actual witchcraft and magic because I feel like we both have some authority in this field as well. And we both lived the life and dabbled in various sorceries. But I feel like something that I would have really bumped up in the screenplay is that it seems like the aunties do sort of like, how do I want to say it? It's like they're doing these love spells, these little almost kind of like manipulative magics. Like the lady who comes in, she's like, I want somebody to fall in love with me. And the first thing out of my mouth was like, girl,
you can't wish for that.
You can't wish for that. No, I don't understand like these like who does love spells. I think even to do like attracting spells is really risky because it's like, what are you attracting?
Yeah.
You don't want somebody's dusty ass son.
I've been guilty of that in the past, you know.
Oh, we've all done it. We've
attracting them dusties.
We've burned the pink candles and we've touched the rose quartz. And we're like, please, we've done the come to me oil all over us and just been like, and then what do you get? You get garbage.
You do.
Because you're just going to attract whatever. Like dogs, they come running. But yeah, going back to like the magic that's portrayed in this movie, first of all, like there's not enough magic.
No, not at all.
And yeah, the aunties, it's like, okay, we did a little love spell. We do some tricks. You see them like making magical margaritas. Okay, that's a fun little thing. I think something that they could have fleshed out more with the writing is the fact that Sandra Bullock's character, Sally, I think she is actually gifted. And like her basically manifesting the man of her dreams as a kid is a testament to how powerful she is. Because she was like, this man could never come for me. He's got 2 different colored eyes. He knows how to flip pancakes. He's this, he's that. It's like, girl, you just manifested. You did it.
Did she actually say flip pancakes?
I think she did. Oh, she was like, it was really quick in the beginning, but she was like, yeah, his favorite shape is a star. His eyes are 2 different colors. He can flip pancakes. Like she was basically like envisioning her perfect guy. And guess what? Aidan Quinn coming out here with his multicolored eyes. Also like, yeah, very, very handsome leading man. This was just like the time for like rugged masculine men, you know?
Well, it was funny because in the beginning, I thought that the guy that she was initially with had green eyes. And one of the little girls does mention, she goes, Daddy had brown eyes. And I looked up the actor. It was a Michael Firestein or something.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah. I have to look that up.
He definitely has green eyes, like more green hazel. But she was just like, they're brown. I'm like, I don't know.
Mark Firestein.
Mike Firestein.
Yeah, Firestein. Yeah, I guess he was on Sex in the City and Carolyn in the City and Ally McBeal and West Wing. This guy works. This guy works. Actor. Yeah, he's out here. He's doing stuff. Was also in the Netflix series Babysitter Club, which I haven't seen yet. He didn't have a chance to really shine on screen. He was pushing.
No, he was hot though.
I was like, oh yeah, I see why you went with this guy. I think there needed to be more sorcery. They really, like, if it was made in this day and age, which we can get into because they're making a sequel.
Are they really?
They're making Practical Magic 2.
But why? You know,
I guess they have to continue this story. Hopefully they have, now they have like intimacy coordinators and different coordinators, and they're going to hire out different people. I think hopefully they get an actual witch in here or couple.
Will they have who, like I was when it was later in the movie, but you know, Sandra Bullock has her 2 daughters. One, I was like the redhead. I'm like, oh wow, she's really like pretty, but she looks familiar. She looks so familiar, but it's Evan Rachel Wood.
Yes.
So I'm like, maybe she can be in the sequel.
She might be. I don't know. We got to look this up.
Right.
We got to look this up. Yeah. Evan Rachel. Yeah. She like, that may have been one of her first roles.
Oh
yeah. Good eye.
Yeah. I was like, she looks so familiar. And then I was like, oh, look at that.
Look at that. I know
there
her.
There she is. There she is.
I know her from True Blood.
And I've not seen that.
Oh,
I've not seen True Blood.
We're going to have to do a side pod that's just us going through TV you've missed. Or maybe this could be the same pod. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, might as well. But I mean, if our working title is VHS Sisters, which who knows, right? But we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Oh my God, it'd be so funny if it was like straight to DVD.
I mean, you gotta watch True Blood. There's vampires and there's a Sarsgaard in it. I
do love a Sarsgaard.
You gotta. I mean, it's very not to tangent off of this fine film we just watched, but it does have to. True Blood is about vampires. It's about New Orleans. It's about vampires, and it's got crazy, early 2000s CGI people shifting into werewolves. They were really like taking. I actually don't know if it was made pre-Twilight or post-Twilight, but it's very that. It's like,
I think it's around the same time.
Yeah, it was. We were fully into, do I want the dog boy or the vampire man to have sex with me kind of thing. This is the moment.
Do I want the dog boy?
So it's, and it's a very sweaty, hot, it's very, very dirty.
Oh,
so
okay.
don't watch it if, the parents are around.
Oh my God.
It's a little adult, but I feel like you're old enough to watch True Blood now. So
I would hope so. Yeah. But when this movie came out, I was 6 years old, so this is why I did miss it, and I've just never. Apparently, Mom's never seen it either.
Wow.
So I'll have her watch it while I have it on rental. So.
Yeah, I want to get her. We can get her notes,
her expert
as well.
opinion. I told her last night. This is my one sentence review. You didn't miss much.
You didn't miss much. Yeah, it's funny because I was trying to pick out the good parts, and we can start to get into that. I was trying to pick out the good parts, and I was like, what I really remember from this film is, of course, the aesthetic, the feel of it, just like, no plot, just vibes, clearly.
Yeah, just vibes only, really. It was, beautifully set up. I loved the little town, which I know obviously was a set. I loved, obviously, the house, being that it is historical and culturally, just loved by most people from that era, right? It's one of those things where it's like, I'm glad I did watch it, though, because there's a lot of little references and little things that I didn't quite understand, like how she's running this apothecary shop or whatever, and she's like, yeah, my husband used to eat this or whatever, and all these little details.
Yeah, good. She has Sally has this really cute bougie apothecary in town. She's out here making shampoo and conditioners and lotions and potions. I'm like, ooh, we love an organic girly. Incredible. And then they also have this herb room in their house, which I was in love with. I'm like, oh, you have a whole butler's pantry full of belladonna and shit. That's so fierce. Yeah, I think, the aesthetic, of course, the look of it, even though, like I said, it doesn't really have that authentic East Coast vibe, which I was missing so much. I think, I don't know, I just have to start getting into stuff I hate. My biggest thing is, not enough magic. Also, Nicole Kidman, gorgeous, right? One of our finest, has done a lot of great movies, is so miscast in this role. I'm just like, oh, and here's Nicole Kidman in this movie. And she's she's doing her best to have an American accent. There was one point where her Australian accent slips out, and I rewound it 3 times.
I didn't catch that. When was that?
So when they're dragging, after they off the abusive boyfriend and they bring him back to the house, which is crazy, by the way, they drag him into the house, and then they're putting him on the kitchen table, and I was like, that would be so heavy and so hard to do, even if you were a strong person,
right?
But
magic, right?
But I guess, but they should have. Why didn't you use your magic to lift your dead ass ex-boyfriend onto the table? But there's a point where they're hauling ex-boyfriend onto the table, and Nicole Kidman's like, Sally watches balls or something like that. She's like
balls.
Yeah, something like that.
It's our least concern right now, this man's testicles,
right? No, she's like, put him on the table there. You on that? Put him on the table. My accent is not great, but you get the gist. Yeah, no, she kind of let it slip out a little bit. Yeah, no, Nicole Kidman, I feel, is just buy her as like the bad sister. And in my mind, I always try to recast. I'm like, okay, if they did it today, who would be the good sister? Who would be the bad sister? I was kind of coming up dry, but I was like, yeah, you got to get somebody who's like a little, who's a little darker. And you look at her and she's just like this luminous angel.
Right.
And I feel like maybe
that's the allure, for the devil.
I guess, but also like I would have, like, if I was the director, I would have been like, okay, now you guys swap roles. Like if they're reading together at the audition and get Sandra Bullock to play the bad one, but she's so wholesome.
Right.
It's really tough. I think Jillian is a tough role.
I mean, somebody who's a little more like tomboyish, not that has to be associated with like being bad or promiscuous or mischievous, but like somebody who, I don't know, maybe she was perfectly cast and we're not totally seeing the point of this director's vision, but
I mean, she's gorgeous to look at and she does a great job. Although I feel like, so like the last quarter of the movie, apparently she's possessed by the spirit of her toxic ex-boyfriend. When I was just like, girl, I get it. We've all been there. We know people like this. Yeah. Like you just can't get him
the soul out
sucking the soul. He's in you. He can't get out of you. We must and I did love that part. The whole idea of like all the women have to get together to suck this evil guy out of you. I think they didn't really nail it, but the sentiment was there. And I feel like, she was supposed to be possessed by this demon guy in the last half of the movie, but she doesn't really I almost wanted to see sort of like a Linda Blair, like, oh, that's not Jillian behind those eyes. They didn't really they could have really leaned into they didn't have the balls to make a horror movie. It could have very much been like a Conjuring style, especially with that house. You could have really I feel like I need to rewrite this as a horror movie.
Yes.
But just like straight up, East Coast.
And just like blood from the eyes, blood from the mouth, like the scary eyes. Like I feel like 100%, if this was written as a horror movie, I probably would have liked it a lot more. But it was it was going with all of these themes, and it was just so hard to I go, am I watching the same movie? Like throughout every good 20 minutes, I go, am I watching the same movie?
Yeah, no, it's all over the place. It's like they had the supernatural script and the horror script and the rom-com script and like the sister road trips script, and they just chopped all these up and they threw them on the floor and they're like, okay.
Even the ladies who were at the shop of Sandra Bullock, I'm sorry, I always forget her, Sally's shop. I thought the shop, it looked almost like a body shop. Like if anyone remembers the Body Shop, which I think is no longer with us.
Was that like a Bath and Body Works?
Similar, but I mean, Bath and Body Works still lasts to this day. But Body Shop was very similar, but their idea was maybe they're a little more, they were less fruity and fun. They were more oh, we have night blooming jasmine or white tea and whatever, and the bottles all were very generic looking for a witchy shop. I thought they could have maybe played up the aesthetics in that one a little bit. It felt a little cold.
Yeah, no, it was the beginning of the clean girl era.
Yeah.
That she was and I think that's fine if you really want to make her character I'm renouncing all things witchy and I'm taking this knowledge and I'm using it just for commercial purposes. Right. And you can really lean into that. And I feel like you just need a couple lines of dialogue, or maybe establish that through her dress a little bit more. Cause she still came off as kind of, a little whimsical, a little witchy, a little casual. I think she could have been more, they could have played into that uptightness. Oh my God. The most jarring part, I think, is when they're supposed to be teenagers in that scene, right after they're kids. And Nicole Kidman is running away with her first boyfriend, and they're supposed to be teens. And I'm these are clearly 33-year-old women who are pretending to be teenagers. And they're we're just going to stick some glasses on Sandra Bullock, and she's now a frumpy teen.
Right.
And it's
They did the Anne Hathaway treatment to her, like in Princess Diaries.
Yes. Yeah, totally. Or they're just like, oh, we're supposed to believe these two 33-year-old women are like 18, I guess. And we have Sandra Bullock in a bathrobe and big glasses. So I feel like they were doing that to her to make her look teen-like, but why didn't they just keep her in that sort of uptight role? I think there need to be more contrast. That's saying if you're going to have two contrasting characters, it's like, okay, so Sally's got to be like, I have these gifts, but I'm renouncing them. I'm about business, family, I'm about conservative values. I reject my witchy background.
Yeah. And then have Nicole Kidman be like fully out there casting spells, doing all kinds of crazy havoc instead of like slow dancing at a pool party.
Right. Yeah, she didn't do shit.
Yeah.
And then
she took one trip to Arizona.
She took one trip to Arizona and she poisoned her boyfriend, which honestly, like, we've all done that. So even just like little stuff, like why wouldn't they show her like being something other than just like straight up Nicole Kidman and charming? There's no actual and I know the movie's called Practical Magic.
The only magic I saw was fucking Sally blowing candles on, which is clearly like a nice like reverse camera trick, you know?
Yeah,
so,
it's
like,
cute,
but
blows
I'm like the candle out and
that's
now the candles in. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, set this whole place on fire. Like, what are we doing?
I don't know. Like, how can you show, like, if you were a witch and you had powers, like, wouldn't you just like move stuff around? Wouldn't you? I don't know. It's very limited, and they're doing kind of like what we call in fantasy writing, it's like low magic, right? It's not high magic. It's just like chill. It's like Gandalf magic. Like he just does like,
he's got like fireworks and shit.
Yeah, he just like chill little sleight of hand things, thaumaturgy. He does a little, something harmless.
He's doing Reiki.
He's out here doing Reiki on these hobbits. I don't know. It just, there wasn't enough. That's my main thing. There wasn't enough contrast between the sisters. You could definitely tell they loved each other. They had a nice chemistry. You could tell they probably, hopefully they really loved working with each other. I love to hear that.
And so when you're back to when you're saying your jump scare, was the jump scare like them trying to be teens, or was the jump scare? Okay, because I'm like, I thought it was like the slice, the blood bond they were doing.
No, it was, I guess the jump scare was like, okay, they're kids. And I'm like, okay, I'm digging this kid vibe. And then they turn into teens. And I was like, no. Like as soon as Nicole Kidman jumped off that balcony, is like, I'm going to run away with this guy. I was like, come on, guys.
Was she with Tom Cruise at the time? I forget, in the 90s, late 90s.
Oh, she may have been going through her divorce, or she may have been just divorced. Do you remember when Eyes Wide Shut came out?
No. Another movie I haven't seen.
Oh, we're not going to cover it on this pod.
I know there's like a sexy scene in it, right?
It's pretty sexy. I feel like, you can watch True Blood. You can watch Eyes Wide Shut. Eyes Wide Shut is more of a Christmas movie, in my opinion.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And then you want to talk about sort of uncanny valley, like a place that is supposed to be a place, but is clearly a set. Eyes Wide Shut has like the greatest example of fake New York. Because they're supposed to be in New York, and you're looking at these street signs and the brick, and you're just like, that's not New York. It's like all London or set. It's just not. So if you've been in either the city, you would be able to clock it like immediately. That is just not the vibe. But yeah, I'm not sure when Nicole Kidman got divorced from Tom Cruise, but this may have been her just sort of like, screw it, I'm doing whatever. You want me to do this? You want me to do this?
Maybe her magic was limited because of his Scientologist beliefs, and was like, you can't demonstrate doing this in the movie, and it just ruined everything.
Oh, you think if they were married? You think if they were married? Oh wait, no, they were married in 99. I gotta say, this is 98. Yes, she was still married to a Scientologist. So maybe, I don't know, is Scientology against magic?
I would assume. I have no idea. I missed that in my theology class. I did not take that. So I would assume so. Like most religion is like adverse to magic
We'll
because
have to have
God is
another
magic.
Yeah, we'll have to have another pod where we really deep dive, and it's called Religions We Don't Know. And we're just learning. Yeah, there's as far as somebody who's like got the Wicca handbook when she was 13, myself. There's not enough Wicca in this movie. There's not enough witchcraft. However, I will say the soundtrack, well, first of all, the score by Alan Silvestri, who has done everything, has done probably 200 movies in Hollywood. It's got a very Hollywood like gloss to it.
Yeah, it
But
does.
yeah, he's done like Forrest Gump and like any like huge I think Back to the Future had a very famous score, and you can hear like a little bits of that in this movie, in the score. Mm-hmm. It's very sort of like whimsical. And I remember I may have had this soundtrack on CD.
Probably a pretty solid soundtrack, I would say. I mean, I don't think that like the Dixie Chicks were mentioned, but you did mention Goodbye Earl. Like that was kind of like peak in that era, like to be like, oh, like we're gonna get rid of this boyfriend and it's just gonna be us friends forever. And then I think the other song that was like in the beginning of it, I clocked it was, I think, Shania Twain.
Oh no, that I know. This Kiss.
Yeah.
That's Faith Hill, baby.
Oh, that's Faith Hill. Yes. Oh my God.
It's very of that time. There's a very
peak female country.
Peak female, yeah. The peak female country, peak female, like there's a Stevie Nicks song on it. I'm just looking at the soundtrack list right now. Mm-hmm. There's a Stevie Nicks song, Faith Hill. They throw some Joni Mitchell in there that Nicole gets to sing. Of course, the Lime and the Coconut song when they have the famous...
Annoying. Wanted that scene to end so quickly.
Speak on it, sister.
It was annoying. I get that like the family vibes are like everyone's gonna dance around, we dance around, we have fun. But like the fact that they're doing this whole margarita, like what was in the margarita?
Well, apparently, so it's sort of established that midnight margarita seems to be a thing that the aunties do for the kid, has done for the kids since childhood, which honestly problematic to give children margaritas. But in this scene, they realize that they're drinking tequila that was the same tequila that the toxic ex-boyfriend drank.
Right, with all the belladonna in it.
Right, and then it's like, and they're like, where did you get this bottle? Oh, we found it on the porch. It's like, why would you put that in your margarita?
Just a half-open bottle on the porch. Yeah, this would be great.
Witches are some of the most superstitious people you're ever going to meet. So the fact, like, wouldn't you find that, like, a little suspicious?
Right.
So that's another plot hole for me. I'm like, okay. And then they just drank it. And then what happens? What are the consequences of their actions? They get a little saucy with each other. Mm-hmm. And they're like, I don't know. They start like speaking what they really feel, but there's no actual, like nothing bad happens because of it. Consequences.
Consequences.
There's no consequences to it. It just sort of happens. It's like, oh, that was weird. And then the aunties are like, okay, we're going to peace out. We have to go to this thing.
We're going to the convention. Bye. Like very uninvolved.
Very, doesn't push the plot forward in any way other than the fact that it gives like the sisters more space in the house, I guess. Yeah, that's the thing too. It's like, oh, and then my least favorite kind of screenplay, which is like, and then this happened, and then this happened. It's like everything, not that everything that happens has to have a reason, but every scene has to push the plot forward in some way. Otherwise, why is it in the movie? So we have like 2 hours with these people. Like it's not like War and Peace. It's not like a big fat novel where you're like, all right, I'm going to spend a month reading this. And if I need like a description of, a parlor and the chairs and the carpet and all that stuff, that's what I'm here for. I want to read a big ass novel,
right?
Which we've done together too. Like it's a different vibe. Movie, you have to economize. You have to like make sure everything has a point. Or if it's just going to be vibes, like let it be so beautiful that it kind of takes you away. Mm-hmm. I don't know. That's just those are my hot takes, I guess. It's not even a hot take. It's just my opinion.
I have some questions and hot takes as well.
Would love to hear.
So I wrote some notes because as we were discussing starting this pod, you were like, hey, write some notes about Jaws. Like, I did not have any time to write notes about Jaws. I was very much invested in watching that movie.
Right. Yeah.
This movie, I could definitely stop and like take, this is like one of those Netflix designed shows that like you're supposed to scroll your phone to. Like it doesn't really, the plot doesn't matter. Again, it's just visual. But like, basically in the beginning where the aunts are like, oh, like come join us, we eat chocolate cake and you don't have to brush your teeth, and I'm like, that's fucking gross. Like, first of all, that's disgusting. Like, we're gonna brush our teeth. Like, your breath's probably rank, auntie. But
yeah, their like, teeth were too good for like not brushing teeth ever.
There wasn't enough emphasis or like visual on like what it's like to grow up in this house with these women. It seemed like they were very like left to their own devices. So like we're kind of missing some of this like aunt niece relationship development. I would also like to mention that like in the house, back to the aesthetics, like the fireplace in the bedroom is a fucking serve, like to have a nice fireplace in your bedroom.
Yeah.
And Nicole Kidman's all like laid out in front of it and she's like, like, talking with her bangs, which I'm very inspired to get bangs after this movie.
Bangs. Yeah, that's a big plus for this movie.
Yeah, great bangs. Great. Everyone has great hair. Everyone's hot. When her nieces, so Nicole Kidman, Ginny, when she's making this syrup to eventually like to try to get rid of this detective, she is like making this stuff like so furiously with the girls in the kitchen, like in the butler's pantry. And then the girls just like, they instantly like this man and go, no, like throw it away. Like, I'm like they couldn't hold to like the idea they couldn't trust their aunt enough. Maybe that's like some storytelling and the fact that she's not around enough for them to care about her opinion. But I was like, you spent all this effort making this thing and you had to go and throw it off the ocean, like throw it onto the cliff.
Yeah, that scene was very rushed. I feel like there should have been more suspense. Like, ooh, let's see him like pour it on his pancakes and like let that drag a little bit more. That's a director's thing. I think Griffin Dunn was like sleeping during this.
The whole thing with the officer, because it was like, the way that he's asking them questions and the way that they're bantering back and forth about like, oh, I didn't kill him here or something. Like, it's just very like leading and very like, okay, like this man clearly has a spell put on him, now that we know that in hindsight, because it's like, why, like these are guilty women right here.
Sure.
You could instantly put them hoes in jail, but nobody did that. And that's okay. But like, he just kept coming back, just like invited himself right into that house, was out here making cactus shaped pancakes and was very comfortable very quickly. So I don't understand, like, I guess again, that has to be the magic that was left out of this, but like, what are we doing, sir?
I think it all comes down to the fact that there were no stakes at all. And we like, as soon as Aidan Quinn, I can't remember his actual character name, as soon as Sheriff comes into town, it's like, oh, this guy's going to fall for Sandra Bullock 100%. Yeah. So there's no, I mean, they have like a great kiss chemistry. You could tell they were pretty hot for each other, but like, it wasn't written in, like, there's no banter. You could have really done like a whole, not like an enemies to lovers thing, but a sort of like forbidden romance arc. Yeah. Like, I'm not supposed to be boning this sexy cop guy,
right? Who's gonna put my sister in jail, or like maybe they arrested her sister, and then it was like Sally's role to like try to get her out or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, there was no stakes. Like, nothing happened and nothing mattered. And that's the main thing. Yeah. Same thing with like, I think that's a great point about like, we don't get to see any of the establishing relationship with the aunties and the little girls. It's just like, they're just kind of there in their house.
Right.
And unless you give people a reason to care, they're just not going to care.
Yeah.
Right. So, and it's not like a ton of stuff to do. It's like several lines of dialogue, couple scenes, maybe like give them a scene like all snuggled up together in front of the fire, drying some herbs together, cooking together, maybe the auntie's having margaritas and the girls like dancing in the kitchen. Just like that's a montage in the beginning.
Margarita is such a choice.
Margarita's a choice, and honestly, it did look good. It did. I'm not gonna lie. It did look good. As somebody, you know, who does not drink anymore, I was like, ooh, I could do like with a slushie though.
Oh yeah.
I was like, it is hot as hell.
I just feel like a witchier drink would be something like something different than a margarita, and also like kind of unfitting for the hypothetical setting of being like on the East Coast. I just feel like there could have been a different option.
But Melanie, they're quirky. They're like they're quirky girls.
But like witches, don't they drink wine? You know, or like
I mean, witches drink a lot of tea. Witches be drinking wine, tea, coffee. Any beverage really can potentially be witchy. I feel like
never associated witches and margaritas together. I guess that's where it lost me. I was like, wait, what?
Maybe that's what Alice Hoffman, the original writer of the book, maybe she was just like, I forget if the margaritas are in the book, but maybe she was just like, oh, this is like a quirky choice. This is sort of out of pocket.
Yeah, or like very 90s, you know.
Very nice. Yeah, no, everybody had that margarita mix in the fridge.
Yeah, that just like Margaritaville mixer.
Right. It just sits in your mom's fridge for like 2 years and they're still putting it in their drink, and it's fine. It doesn't go bad.
It's just lime juice and sugar.
It's preserved.
True.
Yeah. No, I feel like it's a frustrating movie because there's such good potential there. And again, I just find it bizarre that the youths have latched onto this as sort of like, and I will say it does fit into the aesthetic of what has become known as whimsigoth, which, you know, when I was living it,
you're like, it was just my life.
It was just, I lived it, bitch.
Right. And I kind of lived the tail ends of it too. You know, it's just like everybody remembers, at least people who are our age, I think what is affectionately called Global Village coffee shop or something style.
Well, that's the thing. Global Village coffee shop was like the crunchier, more earth toned aesthetic. It was like its own thing, and it was very like Panera Bread.
I feel like it's adjacent, you know.
I think of actual whimsigoth. Like I think at the time, celestial was how we would describe it, because you see that blueprint with the gold sun on it. It was literally everywhere.
We have a book of birthdays with the classic book of birthdays.
I just made this comment online the other day saying that there are two kinds of people in this world. There are people who grew up with the birthday book in their house and those who have not.
Yes.
And you know your people because they grew up with the birthday book, The Secret Language of Birthdays. And that is like the ultimate whimsigoth tome.
Yes.
I didn't see this book in that Practical Magic house.
I didn't see it either.
I was like, they really needed a consultant. They needed to go back in time and hire 15-year-old me.
Yeah.
And I would have told them, I would have come with my Pure Mood CD, you know, my Enya CD, my Tori Amos CD, and I would have given them a lesson.
Some more draping in the house. More draping.
There need to be more draping. There needed to be more suns and moons, honestly. Yeah, I feel like this really gets lumped in terms of aesthetics. Practical Magic gets lumped in with things like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, with Charmed for sure. There's The Craft, I feel kind of came out the same time. So we have witches in the zeitgeist. I feel like if you want a good grasp on what whimsigoth actually was, when you ever do watch Buffy, and we do our Buffy rewatch pod, which is also not a new idea. Everybody has done that. But when you meet the character of Willow, who is Buffy's friend, and you see what she actually wears, you're going to be transported. You're like, oh, right. This is what witchy kind of lesbian people used to look like. back in the day, right? Like, because like you couldn't say it, and like even on Buffy they couldn't quite say it until later, but you get it. You'll watch it. You'll watch it. You'll watch it. Yeah, you'll get a sense. It's like, oh right, this is how we used to deal with people like this.
I guess. Touching on female relationships, though, like in this movie, I thought that it was kind of strange how at the end, like the way that they were shunned by the townspeople and the women in the town, although like of course them being desperate to like seek their help when it comes to like love and romance and things of that nature, for them to be so anti and like picket or pitchforking and like
they're out here pitchforking, correct?
Pitchforking and tiki torching. Like there was not enough of that from them.
There need to be more tiki torches.
Yeah, like there wasn't enough. Like I mean, there was plenty of hatred, and it changed so quickly. And when they started ringing in that phone tree, which I had no idea really like what that was. I guess it's just like each person calls a person. Know
before they had like Google Teams or whatever, before they had
Microsoft Teams,
before they had a group chat. They didn't have group chats back then.
I know
they were not smartphones, so it's like, okay, you call this mom, they call that mom, and then we pass on the school information, I guess. Yeah, it was a pretty quick turn at the end. Like the whole conflict is that Sally doesn't want to admit that she's a witch, and in the end she's like, okay, I'm a witch. And then it's over, and there's no stress about it. You know, there's a little awkwardness, but again, no stakes, nothing really bad happens. And go ahead.
I was gonna say the one lady. So like, there's the two ladies who work in the shop with her. The one with like who looks like, gosh, what's blanking right now? But the designer with the hair, like the crazy hair. I think it's like, I don't know why I'm blanking. But anyway, she looks very like eccentric, and she goes on the phone. She goes, she just came out.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yes. So that actress,
Betsy Johnson, is what she looks like.
Right. Yes. No, that actress name is Chloe Webb. And she's incredible. I also, when I saw her in the movie, I was like, oh, right, she's in this. And she's incredible. She has been in like everything. She was in the movie version of Sid and Nancy. She plays Nancy.
Oh, okay.
And she's also in a series I have affection for, which is the original Tales of the City with Olympia Dukakis and Laura Linney back in the 90s, where it's like a serial where they talk about being like queer in San Francisco, which is like another good TV thing you could watch. But anyway, yeah, she's amazing. She's very like well cast. And it's just funny. In the end, there's this very like hocus pocus ending where they're just like, now we're all gonna like fly together and we're embraced. And I was like, what is this corny boots?
Yeah, like why aren't we on a broom?
Why? It's like, okay, we're witches. Now we're gonna be, stereotypically witches.
Performative.
Right. Yeah, girl, you're gonna be performative out here.
Right.
And inauthentic. Who are you doing this for?
We jumped down at the end. Yay. Like it was like very lame.
Yeah, no, you needed some sort of like
fireworks show. I wanted to see people zipping on brooms. No, they just hold hands and like Mary Poppins it on the way down. And that's it. That's like the end.
Or make everybody fly, or have there be some sort of like, oh, here's the writer in me. There's like a curse in the town that is like,
lifted.
The curse is lifted, and it's like all spooky ooky, and now there's like beautiful blooms in the end, or this tree has never bloomed, or this flower has never bloomed, and like now it's lifted and now there's flowers, or just something like some sort
like
of
a change,
a visual change that
like why are they so hated? Like besides the fact that they're different, maybe it's a very Christian community or something. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a movie, and we did watch it. And I gotta say already, I feel like maybe featuring movies that are not so good is a good choice, because I feel like it really gives you a chance to dive into what actually makes a good movie. And it gets your brain turning. I think talking about bad movies is just as good, if not better, than talking about good movies. But we can definitely talk about both.
For sure. You got to have some like redemption. You can't just watch all bad movies.
No, and I wouldn't say that this is like, I've definitely seen worse movies than this, but
sure.
let's just say this was, if we're going, if we're still workshopping names of the podcast at this time, this would be, is this as good as I remember? Question mark.
The answer is, I think for this one, the answer is no.
This one's a no. This one's a no. Jaws was a yes, of course. I've never forgotten how good it is. This one's a definite no.
No, and I would give it like a 4 out of 10.
Yeah, I think that's generous. I think 4 is about generous.
Right. Maybe like 3.5, 4 out of 10.
Whereas Jaws would be 10 out of 10 or 9.5 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, no, this just left me wanting. It left me wanting, and I want more. And then hopefully, when we get Practical Magic 2 in 2026, that hole will be filled in me.
I didn't know there was a hole, like until now.
I mean,
I felt nothing.
I do want, I feel nothing towards it, other than the fact that I want that house. I think we can all agree we need to just get a house by the sea together. We can go to Cape May and make it happen. That's what it leaves me with. It's time to get some real estate.
I have to note that I wore the soup mode hat that you got me because at the end of the movie, they removed the demon with some soup. They pour soup on him.
Was it soup or was it just like...
Whatever was in there. It was a bubbling brew. She had a ladle and she was stirring up some stuff in this big cauldron, which like... To me, anything boiling on a stove in a cauldron-shaped vessel is going to be soup.
It's a soup.
So
you got a nice soup going.
She saved the day with the soup.
That's it. That's the takeaway. Soup saves soups and sisters.
Soups and sisters.
Soup saves the day. And with that, we're gonna wrap it up. Yeah. Any more thoughts on the 1998 film?
This movie,
Practical Magic.
This movie is about manifesting. It's about the fact that women are all a little witchy. It's about sort of, but not really about relationships. And also sometimes your magic is like blowing out a candle or blowing on a candle. And sometimes your magic is just shaking that ass.
I feel like you're really reaching for a lot of this stuff, but I'll take it. Yeah, sure. Well, I think this movie is about Hollywood was like, I want to make some money.
Some quick bucks.
We need, we're in the time of girl power. It's the late 90s. We got Lilith Fair. Sisters are doing it for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
We need to cash in on this feminism. Let's get 2 of our biggest stars.
Mm-hmm.
Make them sisters. Doesn't matter if they look like each other. We're gonna make it happen. And you know what? We're gonna get a Stevie Nicks song on that soundtrack. It's gonna sell like hotcakes, and we'll be rich. We'll be rich. It's a real statement piece on the commodification and gentrification of witchcraft. Mm-hmm. It's about, I don't know, but we gotta, I think I have to be at peace with this. I just have to write another version of this
alternate movie.
An alternate movie. Yeah, exactly.
100%. And I would love to watch it.
And just do a better, but it is hard. It's hard. I'm not going to lie. It's hard to write. It's hard to finish things. They finished a movie and the hair looks great. So what else?
That's all that matters.
Can I say about it? So anyway, thank you so much for tuning in again to our retrospective podcast.
If you made it this far, we appreciate it.
We are sisters. We like to do things. We like to watch things. We got a lot to say. And tune in next time. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but maybe another bad movie from
we'll see.
The 90s. We'll see. Anyway, bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of VHS Sisters. We hope you've had a fun and cozy time. Please consider liking, leaving a review, and following us on your podcast platform of choice. If you'd like to chat with us, please email us at VHSsisterspodcast@gmail.com. Love you. Bye.